הגדרתי והנחיתי את כל מערכת הביטחון להציב את נושא שחרור החטופות והחטופים בראש סדר העדיפות שלנו במערך המלחמה ועל סדר היום שנמצא כרגע בפנינו. וזו המדיניות שבה אני תומך ובה אני פועל כדי לקדם, כמובן לצד כל העוסקים בדבר הזה. כולנו מעריכים שנוצרת אפשרות עקב הצורך של החמאס להתגמש, ואני מקווה מאוד שנוכל להתקדם לשלב מעשי בנושא הזה. כמו שאמרתי, הדבר הערכי החשוב ביותר שכולנו מחויבים לו ופועלים כדי לממש אותו.
Good evening. As I said, I think the single most important thing that can happen to change the reality on the ground for children, women, and men who remain caught in this crossfire that Hamas initiated so many months ago would be to conclude a ceasefire and hostage return deal. That's the single thing that can fundamentally change what's going on in Gaza, and that's why all of us are working intensely to bring it over the finish line.
And then, if I may, on news of the day, do you have any reaction to President Yi's?
This is the moment to finally conclude that agreement. For Hamas, as I've said before, the cavalry is not coming to the rescue. They are not going to get the wider war that they've long sought, whether it's with Hezbollah attacking Israel, whether it's Iran, whether it's the many Iranian-aligned proxy groups. That's not going to happen. And I suspect that one of the reasons they've re-engaged in a more positive way in the last couple of weeks reflects that. And Israel, as I've said, some time ago, achieved its core military objectives necessary to helping ensure that October 7th never happens again, dismantling the military organization of Hamas and dealing with the leaders who were responsible for October 7th. So this is a moment to bring this to an end, and bring this to an end in a way that gets the hostages home and finally brings relief to people who suffered and continue to suffer every single day.
Nice.
Israel's war in the Gaza Strip has reached another grim milestone. Palestinian health officials in the territory say the death toll in more than 14 months of fighting has now reached over 45,000 people. The Gaza Health Ministry doesn't differentiate between militants and civilians, but it does say that more than half of the dead were women and children. Israel has questioned these figures. Officials say that they believe roughly half of the dead are Palestinian militants, but they haven't been clear on how they've reached those numbers. Either way, this is a huge number. 45,000 people amounts to roughly 2% of Gaza's entire pre-war population, and this doesn't include thousands of people who still remain unaccounted for. It's believed that they are buried in the rubble left behind by the fighting. The war, of course, has had taken a heavy toll on the Israeli side as well. Officials report over 1,800 people killed since the war erupted in October 2023. Also, roughly 100 people are still being held hostage in Gaza. Now, these numbers come at a time of rising hopes for a ceasefire. International mediators, the U.S., Egypt, Qatar, have resumed their mediation efforts and have been moving across the region, holding very high-level talks. There are signs of optimism. You hear it on the Israeli side and the Hamas side that they are close to a deal, but we have been through this drill before many times during this war. All sides caution that there are still key details that need to be worked out, so it's unclear if or when there finally will be a deal to end this war.
We cannot make any selections between old people, young people, or whatever. Everybody should come home as soon as possible, and the deal should be, we cannot push it too much time. We need to make it in about few weeks, because if we're going to wait a little bit more time, probably all the people that survive over there so many times, 438 days, we're going to bring all of them in a packages, and we don't want it. We want to bring the people that survive over there alive before it's going to be too late.
It's a very tough situation to be in. We believe that the state of Israel should go to a full deal to release all the hostages in one time and to stop the war in Gaza. Unfortunately, our Prime Minister have other political reasons to do a deal which can result in the death of the hostages that are left behind. We think Israel should go for a deal for all the hostages and to end the war in Gaza.
What a shame. It should have never happened. It would have never happened. On Bibi, we had a very good talk. We discussed what is going to happen, and I'll be very available on January 20th, and we'll see. As you know, I gave warning that if these hostages aren't back home by that date, all hell's going to break out, and very strong. But we generally just discussed, I asked him, where are things? Mike Waltz they're doing a great job, by the way. Everybody is very happy. I think he's doing a fantastic job. But he was very much involved in the call. But it was a recap call more than anything else.
Just one last one on this. When you say that there will be hell to pay if the hostages are not released before January 20th, what does that mean?
Well, they're going to have to determine what that means. But it means it won't be pleasant.
Mr. President,
it's not going to be pleasant, yeah?
Dozens of our hostages are alive today. They are waiting for us to save them. A partial deal is a death sentence to those left behind. The people of Israel want the hostages brought back home, even at the cost of the end of the war.